being a female in hip hop and R&B, like it was like a perfect fit. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a girl, but I'm still a tomboy. I was always with the boys. I grew up the only girl on the block. You know what I mean? So it was like a perfect fit. So definitely, you know, and there was a period of time where he 1,000,000% was a soldier. You know, make sure foolish is number one everywhere. You know what I mean? And it was Leor and Julie and Kev and Kaiser.
He would fight for you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But don't get it twisted. It wasn't just for Ashanti, because he was making a lot of money.
Of course. Of course.
Don't be fooled.
Of course.
You know, there was always, you know, something for self involved.
Yeah, but still, I'm sure as a young artist, a young girl, you're experiencing the success. I'm sure that is appealing
Absolutely.
to, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to get in the head of like young Ashanti in that space. Like, I don't know. Do you have regret about that? Do you feel like, I don't want to say like you were taken advantage of, but like, okay, mom says he took advantage. But I'm just saying you were young and, you know, there's a lot of conversation about young women and how somebody in their life with power, you know.
Flexes their power and puts pressure on
Yeah.
it.
Do you think that that was attractive to you? Did you feel like manipulated? Like, do you feel like, do you regret it? I guess is maybe also another question.
There is some regret because, again, me being the gullible Susie or the naive Nancy, thinking that someone is a good person and they're coming from a genuine place in their heart, you know, sometimes I regret believing in that person. You know what I'm saying? And believing that they really meant what they said. You know, there's nothing I can do about that. I definitely feel like manipulation played a heavy part into me and Irv's situation. You know, he would say stuff like, "No one wants to record with you. Nobody, you know, nobody fucks with you like that." You know what I mean? You know, he would say stuff like, you know, we're going to keep it in the family, it's in-house. And on one hand, he would make it feel like family, family, family. And on the other hand, he would tell me, nobody even likes you. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get beats from nobody. Nobody's going to give you shit. You know what I mean? And it was hard because that gullible little Susie, why? How come? But I don't even know them. Why they don't like me? You know what I'm saying? And growing and becoming a woman and more mature, then you start to reflect on certain things, and it's like, oh, that's what was going on. And then when I did start to evolve and get in the studio with certain producers, I would hear all the time, yo, we always reached out. I just feel like sometimes people conquer and divide and keep people separate to do what they want those people to do. You know what I mean?
Hi, you guys. So I'm not sure if you were able to watch Angie Martinez interview with Ashanti yet or not. It's a really good interview. I don't really know how I feel about the fact that she's addressing this whole Irv Gotti situation. I guess it is a good thing that she is putting her side of the story out there, especially since he went so hard to try to paint her a certain way and to taint her legacy with all of the foolishness, right? Even though I feel like most people, men and women, pretty much saw through what he was doing that entire time. Even the people who are okay with it, because it's clear that certain people were okay with his antics, and some people were not. And I agree 100% when she says in the interview that, you know, in the state of the world today, with all this Me Too out here, in the world of the Jeffrey Epsteins and the Harvey Weinsteins and the R. Kellys and the Bill Cosby situation and whomever else is coming up here about, in the world of all of that, why would you think it would be okay to use that tactic to attack her? Right. And so I agree with her. It kind of says how out of touch he is. And I've said that before. I feel like a lot of those people in that industry, in particular, the men, are out of touch, especially the ones that come from my generation. Because so much stuff that went on in the 90s, it's not going to fly today. Right. The 90s and before. You know, a lot of that stuff would not fly today. It is not just about sensitive levels being higher or whatever people want to say with that. I just feel like, you know, I think I've always felt like that. I think I said that about Irv Gotti already. I always felt that he was a misogynist. Um, at the end of the day, anyway, right? Just based on that reality show that we were watching with him and his wife, the actual nerve of him to put something like that out and think that it was okay to talk to this lady in this manner. He had girlfriends on the reality show. You guys, if you remember the reality show, and you know, even though he was making it clear, even in front of the wife, that they were separated or what have you, at the same time, they still had some type of relationship or something that she thought that they could continue to build on. And so that is that part that wasn't right about that, right? Because I don't even feel like she would have done that show if she would have thought that they were not going to do it from the perspective of a man and a wife working on their marriage. However, his side of that, I don't think that's what he was doing. I think that he just was taking up the opportunity to put himself out there and really just using his family in that moment. And that's really how that came off. And so I'm not surprised that he would still be doing all of this in 2022. But yeah, she's right about that. Like, a lot of these guys, they don't know how to adjust to the times, and they're not paying attention to real life out here. Yeah, so that's why that whole thing didn't go over well. But however, he still put all that stuff out here. He still made it sound as if he was having some long-term relationship with Ashanti, and I didn't really feel like he was. I didn't feel like that was real, because even when he was saying how she jumped into the relationship with Nelly, she was never in a relationship with you. You were a married man. And that's why she could just move on. And she wasn't even moving on. She was living her life. She had no reason to think that she was doing something harmful or hurtful to him, right? But he painted that in such a way that he's making it sound as if she used him and then moved on to Nelly, right? So yeah, I'm kind of glad that she cleared up some of that stuff. She talked about her relationship with Charlie Baltimore Vita as well. I guess feeling that they were not getting attention from the label because most of the focus was on Ashanti. That's uncommon. But yeah, I don't think that he was focusing on Ashanti like Ashanti is saying because of his feelings for Ashanti. His focus on Ashanti was because of the money she was generating, and I think that's her point by even saying when she says that. I think it's in this clip that I added in here, child. I don't know, because I'm trying not to use too much of her video. And then some of the language we can't really use here on YouTube. Angie probably can use it, but I cannot. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought about the interview if you were able to watch it, and how do you feel about what she had to say about her situation with Irv, and that it was never a relationship for her to come out here and report on in the first place. I think it sounds like what happened is that he was applying pressure to her as a young woman, because she was very young. I believe she was like 19, right, when she came on the scene. So she probably was even younger than that when some of this stuff was going on. I don't know. But how old she was, I'm just putting it out there. It sounded like he was applying pressure to her to get involved with him, and she wasn't sure if she should. And so that's where it sounded like their relationship or situation really was. That's where their situation really was. It wasn't some full-out affair the way he tries to make it sound. And I think I said this in my other video about him when he did that whole Drink Champs interview. I don't really know that I feel like he honestly cared about Ashanti. I think that he was using her to push that documentary or whatever movie that was coming on BET, and just to push himself and his brand. And also, just from listening to her in this interview, he's also trying to attach himself to Ashanti and her legacy if you will, or her career in a way to where when you think Ashanti, you're going to think about him. I do feel that he is also trying to do that because he wants people to relate him to her success, right? And that's what I think that he's trying to do with that, because Ashanti is still a brand out here. She is still a household name. She's still a brand. She's still our it girl. She's still gorgeous. And so I think that he sees that, and he sees the potential of her continuing on. And so he's trying to attach himself to her brand by saying all this crazy stuff. That I do believe that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.